Okay, let's dive in. There's a number floating around that's frankly staggering. 16 billion. 16 billion username and password entries. It's being called the global credential cataclysm.
Hmm.
Today, we really want to unpack what this means, the actual risk to you, and crucially, give you some immediate steps you can take.
Right. And just to set the scene, this info comes from Cyber News. They're the ones who found about 30 exposed data sets, huge collections of credentials just out there for a bit.
Okay, so 30 data sets. What's really important, I think, is this isn't one single company getting hacked, right?
Hmm.
This data seems to come largely from something called info-stealer malware. Can you explain what that is and why it's maybe more dangerous?
Yeah, that's a really key point. An info stealer isn't about breaking into, say, Facebook servers. It's malware. It gets onto your computer, your phone, and it just quietly sits there, basically copying your logins as you type them, or grabbing saved passwords from your browser. Then it sends them off.
So it's harvested directly from individuals. That feels,
Yeah.
yeah, much more direct and maybe harder to track than a corporate breach notification.
Exactly. It's personal. And then all that harvested data gets bundled together into these massive lists. It's pervasive, often invisible until, well, until it's used against you.
And the scale you mentioned, 16 billion, that's what, roughly 2 sets of credentials for every single person on the planet? It's hard to even process. But you hear some pushback, right? That maybe this number includes old passwords, duplicates. Does that reduce the risk? Is it still a fresh threat, as Cyber News puts it?
That's fair. There's definitely going to be some overlap, some old data in a collection this massive. You can't avoid that. But the analysts are stressing the sheer volume of new data coming directly from active InfoStealer logs within this collection. Even if, let's say, only a quarter is truly fresh and unique, we're still talking billions, billions of currently usable credentials. That's the immediate danger.
Billions. Okay. And it hits close to home. The sources mention platforms we all use: Google, Apple, Facebook, GitHub, Telegram,
Mm.
even government sites, apparently. When you talk about Google and Apple credentials being in there, what's the specific danger since so much of our online life kind of funnels through them?
Precisely. They're linchpins, right?
Yeah.
If someone gets your Google login from an info stealer, think about it. That could be your email, your cloud drive, maybe access to other sites where you use login with Google.
Yep.
It's a cascade. One compromised account, especially a major one like that, can unlock, well, almost everything else. Your photos, your messages, potentially financial details linked elsewhere.
Wow. Okay, so the potential damage is huge and interconnected.
Yeah.
Given that, what should people listening right now be doing, like immediately?
Yeah, the advice is pretty clear and urgent. First, passwords. You absolutely have to change them. Start with the most critical ones: email, banking, those major platforms. Second, multi-factor authentication, 2FA. Turn it on everywhere you possibly can. That extra code from your phone, it's a huge barrier for attackers. Or even better, if a site offers passkeys, use those. They're newer, generally stronger than passwords, often use your phone or fingerprint.
Passkeys, right. I've seen those popping up more.
Definitely use them where available. Third thing, get a password manager. Seriously, let it create strong, unique passwords for every site and it remembers them for you. And finally, check your email addresses. Use a service like Have I Been Pound. It can tell you if your email has shown up in known breaches, including possibly this one.
Okay, so change passwords, use 2FA or passkeys, get a password manager, check Have I Been Pound. Pretty actionable list.
Yes, proactive steps are key here.
So recapping the main point, our sources agreed this is one of the biggest collections of leaked credentials, like ever. And even with potential old data in there, the amount of new actively harvested information makes the threat incredibly real right
But
now.
absolutely, the core actions again. Change passwords. Enable 2FA or passcodes. Use a password manager. Check your emails on Have I Been Pound. Do it now.
And maybe just one last thing to think about. This scale, 2 credentials per person on Earth. What does that really tell us? Maybe it says something about, how digital security is evolving and how much of it now really rests on our own shoulders, our own vigilance day to day. Food for thought.